This is going to be a quick review and overview of the Alienware 17R4 to help you guys out if you're in the market for an Alienware or any laptop. So I'm going to keep it short and simple. I already unboxed it. Still in the process of setting it up. I was going to do a review yesterday, but FedEx delivered it a little late in the evening because of the holiday season, and so I wasn't able to do a review yesterday. But I still wanted to do it because there weren't a lot of videos around on the Alienware when I was doing my research on this. There are some good ones out there right now, but I just want to share how I feel about it. So let me start with the build quality. I have to say it's pretty sturdy and hefty and built like a tank. Every part seems well machined and everything just fits together perfectly. There's not a single gap, no loose spots or creaks. There's barely any flex on this whole thing. The body is a good mix of good quality aluminum and what feels like tough polycarbonate plastic. This machine has an i7 1920 by 1080 display with a Tobii Intel i7 6700 HQ. Is kind of awkward trying to film with one hand and move this laptop around with the other. So yeah, Intel i7 6700 HQ quad core processor, 16 gigs of RAM at 2400 megahertz. NVIDIA GTX 1060 for the graphics at 6 gigs DDR5, a 512 gig solid state drive, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's got Windows 10 Home on it and killer 1535 for the Wi-Fi. For ports, we have a USB 3 Type A on either side. There's one over here. It's got my Logitech unifying receiver for my mouse, and it's got, not sure if you can see it. Let me just turn it around. It's getting dark out here. It's got another USB 3 Type A and a USB 3 Type C with a microphone and headphone jack. On the back we have a killer E2400 Ethernet port, a mini display 1.2 port, an HDMI 2.0 port, Thunderbolt 3 Type C, an Alienware Graphics Amplifier port, and the power port. We also got this little Noble lock port on this side. There's a vent on each side and two in the back. All right. Just gonna open this one up. Like I said, the build quality is stellar, and it opens without the laptop lifting up, which is pretty awesome. Now, for example, it's going to look at my eyes to help me log in. There you go. So that was the Windows Hello camera. As for the specs, it's got an HD webcam with the Windows Hello camera that you just saw. It scans for your eyes to log in, so that's pretty cool. I configured mine with a 99 watt hour battery, and it comes with the 180 watt adapter, which is right here. I think it's slimmer than the previous Dell or Alienware adapters. But if you get the GTX 1070 or the 1080, then it comes with the 240 watt adapter. My previous laptop was a Dell XPS 17. Let me just put it up right next to it so you can see it. Right here. So you have something to compare it with. I don't know if any of you guys have the XPS 17, then this will probably help you a little bit, but they're both 17 inches. They look like they could be the same size, but there's a slight difference. If you see from the side, Alienware's got what they call a hinge forward design. So you got this big chunk in the back that they say helps for better cooling. Thickness wise, I think this one, the XPS, is a little lifted because it's got the 9-cell battery on it, so that kind of helps. The angle kind of helps when you're doing something on it. It's got the same profile. I think thickness wise they're pretty much the same if you ignore the lift on the XPS. Now weight wise, I used to think my XPS was heavy. Let me just show you how much my XPS weighs. There you go. There it is. That comes in at 8.19 pounds. The Alienware 17 comes at a 9.2 pounds, so about a pound heavier than the XPS. A lot of you guys probably thinking this laptop's too huge. It is. It's probably not a good idea to, if you guys take classes and stuff, it may not be very convenient for you to carry to your class. I'm terribly sorry. This is really hard to shoot when I'm by myself. I wish there was like a friend or something here that could help me hold the camera up. Came with this little box, this black box, and this packaging. So my XPS, I do a little bit of music production on the side, and my XPS used to fit in the Samsonite backpack really well. This backpack used to fit my audio interface, my MIDI keyboard, the laptop used to fit in here. I'm not sure if you can see this. The laptop sleeve here, my XPS used to fit in there perfectly, but the Alienware unfortunately does not. It does fit in the backpack, just not in the sleeve anymore. So I could put it here, somewhere here, or get a new backpack. So that's about it. I don't know if this video is even helping, but I do have a PS4 for games, but I'll do a little bit of gaming on this as well. I'm mostly going to use it for music production and eventually some video editing. So the GTX 1060 that I have in here is absolutely fine with the 1080p resolution. I didn't get the QHD or the 4K version because a lot of applications they just don't scale correctly. And a lot of applications aren't, to be honest, written for those resolutions either. Besides there being a huge price difference. Also, the 4K may be a little hard on the GTX 1060 that I got in here. Those red lights that you see flashing right now is the oh wait, it hasn't signed me in. Those red lights that you saw flashing earlier with the Tobii infrared camera. So yeah, the 4K may be a little hard on the GTX 1060 that I have, and I may not be able to efficiently play games in 4K anyway, because it may be a little too hard on the GTX 1060. And for the screen size, I think I'm personally okay with the 1080p. And I'm sure you guys know the keyboard, the alien heads over here and here, they all light up. Nah, just had to sign in. The keyboard, the alien heads, the side of the laptop, this Alienware text right here, and the trackpad, they all light up. So it's basically there's this thing called Alienware effects. Different color options, and there's different zones. You can have a different color for each zone. Let me show you an example. So if I do that, the screen's at 50% brightness right now. Alright, so you see, I had initially turned the trackpad off, the light on the trackpad off. You're not able to see that bright because it's kind of sunny in here. But yeah, you do see the lights. And the Alienware head logo there. There's different options. So for the keys and for the trackpad, you can have the color stay on, the lights stay on, or you can have them pulsing. There's a few different settings in here, and then you can turn each individual zone off as well if you don't want, you know, the trackpad light to be on. If you don't want this text to be lit up, you can turn those things off. I don't like it to be lit everywhere, on the side, on the back, on the front, and the keyboard and the trackpad. The only thing I'm okay with being lit up is probably the keyboard, because, you know, I just need to see the keys. And you can save your profiles. You can, you know, make a few changes here. You can turn things off, and then you can save that as a theme, and then you can load that up. I'm just gonna load one of the themes that I saved earlier. I'm gonna apply that. There you go. With this theme I had yellow to blue and red on these keys. The trackpad off and the side lights off. This one, the Alienware head power button, I don't think we can turn that off. I tried. I don't think that works. As in, it does work, but I don't think you can turn the light on that off. Alright, so that's about it. I mean, there's nothing really much. There's a lot of other videos that have showed you benchmarks and a lot of other things in detail, so no point in me going into that. The only gripe initially I had was that it only has 2 USB ports, the 2 USB Type A ports. Because for music production, at the least, I would need at least 3 of them. One for the mouse, one for the audio interface, and one for the MIDI keyboard. I mean, I could use an adapter for one of those, so it's cool. We are transitioning from USB Type A to C, so I guess this is a nice and slow way to inch into that. I'm just glad they didn't completely get rid of the Type A yet. It has to be slow. A couple years from now, USB A will probably be old news, but the transition until then should be gradual. Unlike the Apple MacBook Pro 2016 they just came out with, they got rid of all the USB Type A ports. I mean, that's a good move, but I think it's too soon to do that. They have 4 Thunderbolt 3 USB-C ports on their MacBook Pro, which is a good thing, but I think they jumped on that ship a little too early. They could have had, there was no transition period for Mac owners. So, I mean, I'm okay with this only having 2 USB-A ports, and it's got 2 USB-C ports. It's fine. It's an okay transition, as long as they didn't completely get rid of it. So far, I really like it. I love the laptop. I love the way it's built. It's made of really good materials. It feels sturdy. There's absolutely no flex anywhere. And surprisingly, this laptop has no light bleed. At least I don't see any. If you guys think I should change the wallpaper, I mean, I set this wallpaper to see if there was going to be any light bleed, but I don't think there is any. That's about it. If there's any issues, it's just been a day for me with this laptop so far, so I haven't really seen any issues. But if you guys think there's, if I come across any issues, I will make a video about that and post it up here on YouTube. But so far, I don't think there's any problems. So that's about it, guys. If there's any questions you have about this laptop, about the configuration, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer them. And so that's about it, guys. You guys have a great one. Bye-bye.